Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So I was scrolling on my TV, and sometimes when this channel shows up, I watch it. So that's the Ashley Dalton show. I was scrolling and I saw this one, and it caught my attention because the picture of it was this lady that had gone bald on one side, and I was kind of like, what? And then I read the title and I was like, okay, let me check it out. So watching this, I was really kind of sad for the lady because I could see her mental health is definitely at risk. I could see that physically she's going through it. She looks like maybe she's not sleeping well and she's stressed and things like that. So when she got on there, she pretty much was telling Ashley Dalton that she needs help with her appearance. And I was laughing because I'm like, there's no way you can fix your physical health when your mental health is at stake. A lot of times when people are going through depression and things like that, they start looking like it. Typically, people start looking like their problems, you know. When you're going through it mentally, you don't care about fixing your hair or putting on a nice thing or even taking a shower, because that's some of the signs of people that are going through depression. So when she's there, a lot of people in the comments were pretty much telling her, like, girl, you need to go get some therapy. You need some mental health. When you're in a situation, a relationship or whatever that causes your mental health to be at risk, you need to reevaluate the situation and pick up your bags and move on. So she pretty much said that, you know, she's with this guy. They've been together for a long time, and this guy has put so many conditions for her before they can get married or before they can have kids. And it kind of, I related to it because I went through something similar a couple years ago where somebody had conditions for me before we can get together, before we can get married, before we can have kids. Literally got to the point where this person was watching what I was eating on my plate because they wanted to make sure that I'm watching what I eat and I'm working out and stuff like that before they can get to the next level. So one of the first things I want to say to women is that typically when a guy starts putting on a lot of conditions for you, it means that they're not really into you like that. They don't like you that much. Because literally the comparison is it's so greater. When I look at my husband when he met me versus when I met my ex, there's a big difference. My husband saw me, he liked me, he wanted to get to know me, he wanted to spend every moment with me. And later on, even like the first 2 months, he was like, you know what, you're gonna be my wife. That's literally all it was. He never put any conditions in front of me. He was just excited to be in my presence and was so happy to see me and was excited. And I felt the same way. So over time, when people start putting on conditions for you, typically they're trying to let you know, hey, you know, I don't really like you that much. So at some point, they're hoping that you get the hint and pack up your bags and leave. And typically when people are dealing with mental illness and all that stuff, like this lady, you're not going to leave because you keep hoping that things will get better and this person is going to change somehow and see you in a different light and blah, blah, blah. So this guy told her the guy wanted her to lose weight. The guy told her that she didn't need all the makeup and all that stuff. While this guy is actually online on Instagram looking at other women that are all dolled up and, you know, have the BBLs and all that stuff, she said. So it's problematic, like when a person puts all this stuff in front of you, but they're doing the other way. So this guy, she said when she met the guy, he barely had anything, and she helped him build himself up to make money and all this stuff. And then later on, he kind of switched up. So the story in itself had a lot of red flags that I'd started. But I think because this lady's so into this guy way more than he is, she refused to see some of them. And even when she's smart enough to say, like, this is what I think is going on to Ashley Dalton, you can see that mentally she's not ready to really pick up her stuff and go. It's like she's not fed up enough for her to just walk away. And I just felt sad because sometimes we stay in situations for too long. There's situations that we really need to cut ties with way soon, but we keep them too long. And before you know it, you are going through it and you are not taking care of yourself. You know, your physical you start looking crazy and you keep defending this person. You know, I remember there were times when my family members were saying how my ex was kind of strict, and I defended him a little bit. I was like, no, that's just how he is, blah, 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 trying to just explain that he's a certain way, whatever he wants things a certain way. I didn't even realize this person wanted to mold me into who they wanted me to be versus me being myself. This person, I was going to be perfect. If I did all these things, I would somehow show up perfect for this person. And so it took a toll on me. And I cannot tell you how many times, guys, I was crying. How many times every week I was like, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm done with this situation. I would be leaving, packing my little backpack. And I would be like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going. Because up and down. 1 minute we're fine. The next I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sleep by myself. I'm going to lay down somewhere by myself. I don't want to deal with you. It was constant. So I started noticing that I started becoming different. I started being less, I'm a loud person, I'm African. I noticed that I started being more quiet because I was trying to think, oh, maybe if I'm a little bit less quiet, Maybe if I start eating way better, like sometimes I would be like eating my little rice or whatever, and I would make sure that he didn't see me eating it, so that he's not going to go off and be like, oh, you know, I saw you eating carbs, you know, you're not supposed to eat carbs, you know, things like that. So I became this little child that was looking for approval from this person, because one day he's going to choose me. But the first thing you have to do is choose yourself. You have to look at yourself and say, how are you feeling? How are you doing in a relationship? And if you notice that you are not liking what you're seeing in the mirror, you need to start thinking about how you're going to leave that situation. I know it's sometimes harder because there's also people that are abusive and blah, 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 blah. So it's tough, but you have to plan some kind of way to get out of it, because the opposite, you know, she was crying about how she has this bald area on her head. And she's like, I have a beautiful hair, but this thing, and she just started breaking down and crying. And it's so wonderful in the comments. Everybody kept telling her, like, girl, you need to get some mental health counseling. You need to go do something. Because at the rate that she was going, she was like, she blurted out, I don't want to be here anymore. And actually Dalton was like, what did you say? And she fixed it. And she said, no, I'm not saying that like that. But to me, that's literally what it sounded like. It sounded like she didn't want to be here anymore, because she's just going through it with this person that she's with. And she's just like, but he promised he would do this. He promised he would give me this. And you guys just have to really watch it and see it, because I just was sad for the lady. And I really, all the calls that I've seen there, this really touched me, because I could see her just spiraling and letting this person have so much power over her. And it was just really sad to a beautiful young lady, like, just to see her. And she's so smart, because some of this stuff she's very aware of what's going on, but she kept trying to be defending, like, you guys don't know what I've been through, blah, blah, blah. Like, I helped this person. And also, just because you help a man, it doesn't mean that they're going to love you and they have to marry you and have kids with you. Maybe you were just somebody they used for that. So she kept thinking that she invested in this guy. Therefore, this guy has to marry her and has to have kids with her at some point. But literally the signs are saying that this guy doesn't want you anymore. He never did to begin with, you know? And so just watching it, it was so sad. So the lessons that I got from it that I could tell you guys is, the signs are always there whether somebody wants you or not, and they really like you and they want to be with you. It's always, guys know very early on who they want to be with. They make the effort early on, and they let you know, like, I want to be with you. You're going to be my wife. This is the person I want to have kids with. But they know. So when they're giving otherwise, you need to be thinking about who you're going to leave. Just because you invest in a man, they always say, don't be the builder bears, like they say. You over there, like, giving them money and guiding them on how to make their life better and all that stuff. Typically, once you do that, they get better and they go find somebody else. Okay, so be careful about giving men money and giving them this and trying to get them to their dream job or whatever, because at some point they'll fix all of that, and then they're gonna leave you there hanging. When somebody loves you, they don't put conditions on anything. They see you, they want you in their life, and that's it. Period. You know, they see themselves doing life with you. It's very simple. You have to show up for yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you're seeing that you're having a lot of mental health issues, physically you're going down, if anything, that somebody comes into your life, there should be an addition to your life. There should never be somebody that's draining you and making you look crazy, you know, because I joke about how my husband has given me the soft queen life. I'm living the soft life. I'm not stressed. I'm sleeping well at night because I know somebody got my back and somebody loves me. He makes sure we're provided for. I'm glowing. I'm happy because I have somebody that gives me so much every single day. Gives me love, affection, you know, gives me gifts, you know, and I do the same. So I feel like I'm with the right person because of that. So when you're with the wrong person, nothing is ever going to click. Nothing is ever going to work out. It's always going to be something. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.